Happy Friday, people. Welcome to The Final Plan, the show where James and I discuss the final 24 hours before game time, game week 7, 11:30 deadline tomorrow before Liverpool take on Sheffield United. How's it going?
All right, mate. Yourself?
You have made your transfers already. I haven't done shit.
Sorry, is this not the Tottenham podcast?
Yeah. I had an intro planned as well. I was going to ask you if I smell
Of?
egg on my face. Do I smell a fried egg?
You were warned, sir, not to shoot your mouth too far until you've done your job.
That was a fucking disaster. 4-0. Against the run at first half, we were fine. I don't know what happened in the second half. It just ended up being a capitulation.
Basically, the better the player you brought on, the worse the score got.
That was weird.
If you look at, this is the best bit, right? So if you look at the Spurs team that finished the game at Colchester,
yeah,
and the West Ham team that finished the game at Oxford, they were both pretty fucking strong.
It was a problem. But having said that, let's not talk about ours, because Bournemouth lost as well. Shit.
Yeah, Bournemouth lost to Burton. They got an excuse of 3 floodlight failures. And you wanted to dig into Sheffield United losing to Sunderland, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's me and you, mate, that have had to bear the brunt of it. There was rumours of mass jealousy of the capitulations going around at Old Trafford. They tried to do their best to join the club.
Yeah.
But scraped through against mighty Rochdale.
Did you see the young kid on the BBC who scored the goal for Rochdale?
He was back at school Wednesday morning, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he looked, like you see players that come on and they're 16 and you think actually like this guy's massive. He's not 16. He's been eating his veg. This kid looked like fucking 12 and 16. But yeah, a bit of Carabao Cup in the week. A few interesting games and a few interesting things coming to light. I think for me, Arsenal's victory. They have obviously Bellerin and Tierney got minutes, both of them, and they're looking like interesting prospects for me. I really like the look of Tierney. 5.4 million. I wish he was more around the 5 mark, but that's a consideration. I know you're thinking Bellerin more than Tierney potentially.
Well, Bellerin will be a bit longer
to come back,
but I think of the two, he would be the better asset. I've not seen enough of Kieran Tierney. It's always a little bit risky when obviously a player comes in from Scotland, because the attacking output of what you get in Scotland could be very different to the Premier League in terms of how much they dominate. Obviously Celtic win 90% of the games up in Scotland. Arsenal are not going to win 90% of games here.
No.
So we don't really know how good he is defensively in that. Is that going to reduce the potential attacking output from him? I think you'd need to see him in the team.
He's more a watch list and get on him straight away. I've not seen him enough
for Scotland as well, right? Because Andy Robertson normally
I've only heard good things about Tierney. I think he might be a good asset of 5.4 million and something a little bit different as well. Chelsea, obviously smashing Grimsby 7-1, but I hate to say, I like the look of this Chelsea. What they're doing there with the youngsters coming through has a real good vibe about it. So again, like I have 0 Chelsea assets. I've missed price rises on Mount and Abraham again this week. This having money in the bank has made me a little bit lazy this year on value and chasing value. I've had a few drops this week, but I've had a few rises this week. I might have to sharpen up my speed on making transfers because of value. You're right on the edge, right? In terms of you got 0 in the bank.
I do now, yeah.
So you made a couple of your transfers already, 2 this week.
I made 2 transfers because that's flattened me out from value on Monday night.
And you took a -4 for that as well.
I did take a -4 for that.
So tell everybody.
I dumped Luca Dean for Grant Hanley.
Okay.
And that's it. No. And I moved Connor Wickham to Tammy Abraham.
Right. 2 decent moves. Luca Dean is not looking clean sheets to come in. And
no, a little bit regretful that again for the second week I've ended up not going Zinchenko to Otamendi because it's a move I want to make. And I might even force it Saturday night, as risky as that is ahead of a Champions League week. If Zinchenko doesn't play on the Saturday and Otamendi does, I might force that through and then accept. If I pick something up, fuck it, I'm going -4 again. I'm trying to be a bit braver with my hits this year because it's a failure of mine that I'm not brave enough.
I've had a yellow flag on Maddison all week. So I've kind of held off on what I'm doing. It's got to the point now where, similar to Mount last week, there's a chance that he could play, and a strong chance that he could play. Apparently he trained yesterday is what I've been seeing on Twitter.
Yeah.
So there's no, even if he was only on the bench on the weekend, it doesn't justify selling him because he's gone up in price since I've owned him. So I've got to ride out with James Maddison this week. I've got Lundstrom and Cantwell and what have you on the bench. So it's not really a problem to ride out Maddison for this week. But then I haven't made any other transfers yet. But I keep half pulling out my wild card. Every week for the last 3 to 4 weeks, I've toyed around with a wild card team. Do you do that ever?
No.
Yeah, you see, I've toyed around with, I'll take out the players in my squad that I'm not happy with and replace them with players that I think I could and see if it might be worth me wild carding.
When I'm not happy with the fixtures, first thing I'll do when the game week starts and I've got 5 minutes to sit down, look at how my team would shape up for next week. If I don't like the look of it, that's the point where I'll start looking and playing around. If I've got a week like this week where I'm pretty happy, I'm not even going to look around at doing that.
I've got one transfer this week. It's like part of me is like, shall I wildcard next week? If I'm going to wildcard next week, I may as well use my transfer this week because otherwise it's gone, right? You don't get to roll it over again. Or I'll roll my transfer this week, make 2 next week, and then I can wildcard after the international break, in that second international break. And that seems to make more logical sense for me right now. My team is okay. There's a couple of areas I might improve. Ceballos hasn't been pulling up trees the last couple of games, but I can ride it out, I think.
I can't see me using it for ages, honestly. I feel like if I look at the only... I'm kind of in a position where I feel like a lot of people have wildcarded into a template, which is okay.
Yeah.
Then you're covering yourself off. If I look at my front 6 now of Abraham, Pukki, De Bruyne, Sterling, and Mount, and you can even kind of throw Cantwell into, 5 of my front 6. You could potentially throw Cantwell into that mix as well, who's probably going to be my first sub this weekend. That's properly template. I'm already on it.
Yeah.
I've got Kane as the difference to the template of Aguero as it's now looking. And it's only defensively because of my strategy with the triple Liverpool.
Yeah.
So essentially I'm template with my differential being Kane as captain this weekend and my back 3 Liverpool defenders. So what am I wildcarding to?
Yeah.
So I can't see me using it for ages until that template massively swings again, or unless I hit injury problems or I hit massive value problems where I'm going to lose value on 5 or 6 at the same weekend or something. I can't see me using it for ages.
No. Should we talk about the other teams that we have? North v South.
Who's your captain this weekend?
At the moment, the armband is on Sterling.
Okay, as I said, I'm going Kane. I realise I'm the only person doing that. I love it.
My vice is on Aubameyang.
Big call this weekend. I would say in terms of priority of what people have got, I would say the best choice in the game this weekend, in my opinion, is still Salah.
Liverpool players, yeah.
Then Mane.
Yeah.
And then I would say Kane, possibly Son, then the City boys. And Abraham is a great shout as an alternative. I see quite a lot of people considering Tammy Abraham. And I think it's fine. But I wouldn't overplay what you've got if you've got the good coverage in there, particularly from Liverpool and City. I'd still go with that.
Yes. North v South?
Yeah, can do.
That was a ridiculous week for me. I wildcard. You said people wildcarding into template. I wildcarded my North team last week, pretty much into template. Like the first thing I did was, which 3 City do I want? Otamendi, Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero. What did they do? Tear it up last week. There was 50 points between just the 3 of those. And then templated in the 3 Liverpool that I wanted. Trent, Mane and Firmino. And then just put shit around them, basically. Hayden, Cantwell. Pukki's not too bad, but yeah, just my bench is awful as well. But those 6 pretty much could win the competition between them. So 82 points. So what now? You haven't wildcarded yet, have you?
No, it's one I'm more likely to do it than my main team at the moment, I think. But I'm getting happy with it. I was a little bit unfortunate last week because he had 6 of my 11 returned and only ended up with 48 points. Single
returns everywhere.
It was a bit shit, yeah. Obviously, goal from Harry, goal from Aubameyang, assist from Son, goal from Pepe, clean sheets for Diop and Dunk. all in single figures basically. wasn't great. So yes, I'm a good distance behind you, but I'm still fighting fit for it. My big debate for me this week is probably over 2 transfers, and I think I've made my mind up. The obvious one is probably to go Allaire to Abraham.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel, and I think it's worthwhile saying this for the listeners because a lot of people will be thinking about that move anyway. I just don't feel it's worth forcing through with you playing Bournemouth.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like taking off an attacking player when they're about to play Bournemouth just doesn't feel right. So I think I'm more likely to remove a different West Ham player, which is Lanzini, and move that to John McGinn. And I'll be a little bit happy with the balance. And also just taking that little cut off makes me less worried about the value of trying to get to Abraham or his price is going.
Haller's had a price drop again this week. He went to 7.4, went back to 7.5, went back to 7.4. A lot of yo-yoing around the 0.1s at the moment. A lot. Interesting. Differential team? Are we doing anything?
Yeah, I sent you some shots, Suj.
You certainly did.
So we massively debated Wildcard in last week with this, and it was kind of dependent on Callum Wilson's ownership, which has sat above 10%. We can only buy players owned by under 10%. If they hit 20%, we have to sell them. Callum Wilson's ownership after the Southampton game stayed above 10%, so we didn't. But actually, I'm glad that we didn't, because the fixtures for this week look amazing for this squad.
Yeah.
And I'm probably in a blessed position where we might even be leaving. I've set it up, the bus team, with Richarlison on the bench at the moment. I know they're playing Man City. But do we suddenly roll in a transfer now?
So we have Lloris in goal at the moment, Southampton at home. Pretty straightforward. Back 5, Zuma, Brighton at home. That's a fair fixture for Chelsea. And whether or not he'll play...
You should do with Christensen and Rudiger both out.
Oh, okay, then that solves that problem.
Yeah.
Soyuncu, sorry.
Home to Newcastle.
Yeah, Matip is Matip. You don't worry about fixtures for that, him or Otamendi. Watford at home for Wolves is a decent fixture for Matt Doherty.
That's what I'm saying. Just start with those back 5. Are you fucking leaving out of them?
No, you wouldn't leave any out. To be honest with you. Yeah, Pepe and Son. Man United away for Pepe and Southampton at home for Son, and then Tielemans.
Home to Newcastle.
Tielemans versus Richarlison, like 9 times out of 10, you'd take Richarlison over Tielemans. But the week when Richarlison's playing City and Tielemans is playing Newcastle, you don't take Richarlison over Tielemans. Vardy and then Allaire.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent side, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's still with Martial on the bench as well.
Yeah, if he ever comes back to fitness.
Even choice between the keepers this week, Lloris at home to Southampton, Heaton at home to Burnley is not particularly an easy one.
But Lloris.
I think we go with Lloris.
It is Lloris. So, I think this team's good as it is, but the captain's armband, Newcastle at home for Jamie Vardy.
One of the things I was thinking if we wanted to make a free transfer is actually John McGinn as well. We can just about still get.
Yeah.
Thinking about firing in for Martial, and it'll leave us some value to move Origi up to kind of Ashley Barnes area. Ashley Barnes is now gettable now for this.
Chris Wood.
Yeah, one of those guys maybe, and go with 3 up front. I think that's amazing with that back 5 we've got. You look at all of them, those 5 defensively, there's no double ups.
Yeah.
You can see clean sheets in all of them. I think this might be the weekend where it swings on clean sheets.
This weekend's a funny one because both Liverpool and City are away. So a lot of FPL teams have more than like 8-9 players with away games this week. And so, I've seen a few people tweeting, wow, I've got 10 away games this week, not looking forward to what's going to happen. But Liverpool's away games, Sheffield United and City, Everton.
I've got 6 away players from Liverpool and Man City. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Not really.
No. I think roll it. Roll it.
Just take my shout to McGinn now and just leave it.
I would wait till we got 2 frees next week.
All right, good captaincy argument, because I know there's a lot of talk, particularly on the Twitter community, about Sonny being a differential captain this week. I know Tom Cantwell, who got the assist, is strongly considering it, and others. From this team, Son or Vardy as captain?
Vardy, Newcastle at home.
That's how I've got it set up as well.
I would have gone with Jamie Vardy.
Yeah, it just concerns me a bit if Maddison is out. But that's my instinct as well. Vardy at home to Newcastle or Son v Southampton. My instinct's probably Vardy as well, maybe. When I kind of listed them captains earlier with like Son kind of in and around it, it's on the assumption that most players we just don't think have got Jamie Vardy at the moment.
No. His ownership is quite low for Jamie Vardy.
All right, Vardy captain, Son vice, yeah?
There we go.
All right, I'll go with that.
I was, coming back to a question you asked me earlier about who I'd captain in my main team this week, and currently I've got it on Sterling. My vice captain's on Aubameyang. I'm tempted to put my captaincy on Aubameyang as well on Monday. Ask me why.
Why?
Because there's a strong chance next week that our main pod will be recorded before Monday Night Football. So even if my team's done badly in the pod, I can get away with, don't worry, my captain's still left to play on Monday night. It's my get out of jail free card.
What, like you got away with digging me out on Wednesday before?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work, but it's fine. It'll get me through one podcast. I think he will do well. I can see him scoring at Old Trafford.
We had a debate on the Sky podcast on Wednesday about whether the captain or Aubameyang in that, which seems the obvious one for that game on Monday night, and they said they was thinking against it. But we'll probably go with it because it's template-y. I would not consider Aubameyang as a captaincy option in FPL this week, no.
Yeah, interesting. Any other business? What else is happening?
Well, I don't know if we just want to banter each other for 5 minutes based on how fucking shit that was.
I was so confused about West Ham at the moment. Not forget the Carabao Cup. But this week alone, and this never happens to me, you get it all the time on Twitter because you're far more active. 4 people have DM'd me asking me about West Ham players. Shall I get this person on my wildcard, or that person, or this person, or that person? Never happens. Right? I might get one question every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This week I've had 4 or 5 in 1 week. And it concerns me when people start doing that. I'm like, what? Why would you want to buy West Ham players?
We have a West Ham correspondent is FI_FPL Addict 123. He's far better for advice than Suj. There's also great people in the community, like our friend Tom Campbell, Ron Weasley.
But they do give good advice. The thing is, though, regardless, the advice should be not to go with West Ham players, surely. But I'm quite cautious.
Tell the people a lot will be on considering that Haller move. Keep him or not?
I'd keep Haller. I'm going to keep Haller this week. I've had people asking me about Zabaleta.
What the fuck?
Yeah. One of our correspondents, I won't name him, saying, is Zabaleta going to be first choice now that he's back? I was like, nope. No. I've had Masuaku versus Diop. Which one should I go with? I'm like, if you've got to pick one, go with Masuaku probably for the potential attacking returns. Yarmolenko's popped up a couple of times in conversation this week as well. Should I get Yarmolenko in or not? And Balbuena. So 3 of those 4 questions are about defenders. Balbuena's potentially dropping to 4.3. Does that mean it's now time to get him? Like, he's not going to play. But yeah, it concerns me when that volume of people are thinking about West Ham defenders and stuff. And I suppose, to be honest, that 4-0 defeat at Oxford might have slapped a few people into place to remember what we can really be like.
Well, what's interesting is, obviously, that back 4 that did start at Oxford, Masuaku and Diop, definitely first choice.
Yeah.
Balbuena, I think we probably both personally think he's still the better player than Ogbonna.
Yeah.
And all right, Zabaleta's played instead of Fredericks at right back. It's a strong back 4, isn't it?
4. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the statistics from your game Wednesday night.
Number 19 was on the pitch, was he?
Jack, what a fucking superstar he is. I loved the substitutions you made because you picked quite a strong team.
Yeah.
Snodgrass, Wilshere, Fornals, decent players, man. Like I said, defensively you set up quite strong. It was like when you made your subs, the better the subs you brought on, the worse it got.
Yeah.
So I think you brought Haller on at 1-0, then you brought Anderson on at 2-0, and you brought Mark Noble on at 3-0. It just kept getting worse.
You can't write it. It's just hilarious. 1-0, I thought, that's all right. There's still like 40 minutes left. We'll claw this back. At 2-0, I was like, this is a problem, and then just stopped caring after that. And then got myself ready with all the it doesn't matter, it's the Mickey Mouse Cup, and jumping onto that side of the road.
To flip it the other way, I went up to Colchester Tuesday.
You did.
And to add insult to injury, had an absolute fucking nightmare trying to get there, because anybody in London and sort of in the city will know the absolute chaos around Liverpool Street, because there was flooding and signal failures at Liverpool Street and there were no trains for about an hour. I managed to get the first train we possibly could from Stratford to Colchester. Got to Colchester. Colchester was gridlocked. No cabs, no buses, no shit. Walk to the ground, 45-minute walk, which is okay for me, but I was trying to drag my 65-year-old father with me. Move your fucking arse, mate. We got to the ground 4 minutes before kickoff. No food, no shit. Then watched that pile of shit.
Yeah.
I watched the penalties completely fucking emotionless because we had been so bad. I was like, man, we don't even deserve this.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm thinking, do you know what? If we go out, it might even be a headache gone, and we just don't deserve to go through. I obviously wanted us to go through. But yeah, painful. Got home 1 o'clock in the morning, made myself some egg on toast, which was effectively my lunch. Didn't have lunch because we're recording a podcast with this idiot about Tottenham. Yeah, so it was a bit of a nightmare day. I think it came to a kind of blocking point with Spurs where the fans were turning on the players a little bit. It was nothing towards Pochettino from the away fans, but when some of the players tried to come over at the end, there was audible boos to certain ones and plenty of fuck-offs being aimed, and they deserved it. I expect a big reaction from my lot tomorrow, and that could go either way.
Yeah.
But I think we will play with intensity tomorrow.
And that's how Hasenhüttl likes to play.
Yeah, so it should be a cracking game of football.
It's going to be an end-to-end. In games like that, you often end up with a lot of mistakes, missed passes, and people giving the ball away a lot. It can be quite frenetic. Ultimately, the quality will tell. I think what will really help you is pace, being able to get in behind. Son's pace will really help. You might even play Mora. No? Maybe?
I wouldn't have thought so. I would expect Son to play through the middle again, but I guess in Pochettino's system, he played free at the back at Colchester.
Yeah.
Which was unnecessary. I don't think it was the right decision. He might completely change it. You never know. It might be 4-2-3-1. It might be Dyer and Winks in midfield. I have no idea.
Fingers crossed for you.
I wouldn't say fingers crossed. I just think...
You want to see a bit of Eric Dyer back.
It's not a case of wanting to see Eric Dyer back. It's a case of this might help us defensively. But actually, in the next 3 league fixtures, there's not a necessity for it, as I kind of explained on the previous pod. I just think, like, defensively, there's a massive issue between the back 4 and the midfield and the space that people are picking up in that area, and we need someone to fucking shut that down and stop things like Maddison's goal last Saturday. And Dyer is the most capable player in the squad to get in and around those areas. But should he be needed in Southampton at home? No. I don't. I would expect Spurs to probably line up in this 4-2-2 that we'd seen tomorrow.
4-2-2-2.
4-2-2-2. But I don't know.
It's like a fucking phone number.
Pochettino instigated in his press conference yesterday that, like, he's going to make changes, and it might not necessarily be to personnel, it might be to system. He was talking very much about finding a different way.
Yeah.
His press conference was good yesterday. He came out of it well. He answered questions well. He said some dumb things recently, kind of moan. Yesterday he went in with we need to sort this shit out now mentality. It was good.
Yeah, fingers crossed for the weekend. Some interesting games coming up this weekend, so really into the rhythm of the season now. But I think we might see a good result for City at Everton. Liverpool will keep doing what Liverpool do without a doubt. I'm excited for our game against Bournemouth. It's one of those games that kind of lets you know your place, if that sounds right. If we win that game, then we can say, right, keep momentum for top 6. If we lose, then it's like, well, you know what? It was a flash in the pan, but we need to do some serious fundamental work on the squad. But I think the morale is good at West Ham at the moment. The players seem more harmonious. You don't get any issues, you don't hear any issues in and around the camp, and that's when clubs always seem to do well.
On a serious, as much as we've obviously insulted each other for the cup results in the week, particularly for you, actually going out's going to do you a favour, possibly. It might be a blessing, honestly. Just forget about it.
Yeah, I'm not from that school of thought.
No, neither am I. I'd always rather win every game and win the trophy. Yeah. It's the first. As soon as Spurs go out, it's the first thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's another trophy gone. I don't know what the reaction is.
Yeah.
But for West Ham, trying to push for the top 4.
I don't think
possibly
we're pushing for the top 4.
All right.
Top 6.
Listen, you're in the conversation at the moment. I don't think you can get there.
Nah.
All right, but top 6, actually being out of that might do you a blessing. I'll tell you who looked like they'll probably go far in the competition is Leicester.
Yeah.
I had another good draw, and I know they've had 2 games where you would have expected them to progress, Newcastle and Luton. But picked quite strong teams.
Yeah.
I think they've drawn Burton away, I think.
Yeah.
And so, win that and they're in the quarterfinals. And unlike in previous years with Puel and Ranieri and stuff, Roger's been picking a strong team. He's going for this cup.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose 2 big teams as well. Chelsea playing United, Liverpool playing Arsenal. Leicester may well go very deep in that competition. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. That's our little wrap up for Friday morning, all the way, or carry you through all the way to Saturday morning. Don't forget it's an 11:30 a.m. deadline. It's a pretty regular deadline, really, other than the ones that get chopped and changed. Quiet Sunday this week, only the one game, Leicester Newcastle. But we have Monday night football, big game, Man United Arsenal. So yeah, plenty to be watching. But it's weird to have 8 games tomorrow.
All my players are playing Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got Maddo and I've got the 2 Arsenal guys on Monday as well. So as it stands at the moment, if I don't make any moves. So I'll have a little bit of interest in those anyway. So there we go. Do stay tuned. Next week, we'll be back with our main podcast, People's Poll, Tottenham. We have FPL Seagull, Sam, coming on to talk about Brighton's game with Ricky Saunders, our Tottenham correspondent. That's going to be a good show. And the final plan and Sky FF as well.
Cool. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, and ciao for now.
Cue music, man. Ciao.